So thank you all so much for joining as we talk about our trip to Japan. I'm still working on the details, and so today would really like to talk about what I'm proposing, what I think would be a good itinerary, and I'd love to get your feedback and see if I'm kind of on the right track and to see what's important for you traveling to Japan, what you're looking for, what you'd like to get out of it, and if this trip works for you. So I'll start off with my little presentation. If you have any questions, if you could pop them into the chat. If you're on a computer, it's the at the bottom of your screen. If you're on a phone or a tablet, I think it's on the top. There's a little chat box with an arrow, and then you can send a message that way. And then I'll be able to read all your messages after, and I'll answer the questions at the end, just because we have a few people. A little bit easier that way. And I'll get started here. And then also when I send out the recording, I will send out my questions to you as well, because I do have a few, and you don't have to answer them here or tonight if you don't want to. You can think about it, but I would love your feedback and some input from you as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, can everyone see this first slide that says proposed Japan itinerary?
Yeah.
Good? Okay. All right, so we're thinking of May for next year, 2027. I'll get into why in a moment. I've delved into lots of research on the best time of year to go, and there's a very small window. Um, some fun facts about Japan to start us off with. There are very minimal garbage cans in the whole country. It's a very clean country. Somehow they can do it without having garbage cans. What local people do is they take a plastic bag with them when they're going out, and if they're getting like a to-go coffee cup, for example, they'll put that in their plastic bag and they'll bring it back to their home or for us a hotel and then dispose of it that way. It's very interesting, but that'll be added to the packing list, I think, bringing some plastic bags or reusable bags as well. They consider outside shoes to be dirty. So when you're going into someone's home or even in your hotel, or into a shrine or a temple, they ask you to take your shoes off and wear inside shoes or slippers or socks or bare feet, rather than having your dirty outside shoes contaminating everything. And in some cases, they also have washroom shoes or slippers.
Mm.
You'll have your outside shoes, you walk inside the home, put your slippers on, go to the washroom, and put washroom slippers on. Japan has a lot of rules. A lot of them are unspoken rules and
Mhm.
customs, and we'll do our best to abide by them, but there's some very interesting ones. They have very minimal noise on public transit, and in particular on the trains. On some of the train cars, they will have a completely silent car, so you're not allowed to talk at all. And most of them you can talk very quietly, but like no loud music and no loud conversations. They're all very respectful of your space.
Mhm.
Some Japanese food that I actually didn't know that this was not originally Japanese. Tempura, which is like a deep fried vegetable or prawns. Tempura comes from Portugal. Ramen, tofu, and gyoza all come from China. And curry rice, which I actually didn't know that this was a Japanese food at all, but it comes from India via Britain. We'll have to try that when we're over there. Tattoos are not permitted in public onsens. So an onsen, if you don't know, is a hot water bath area, like kind of like the Scandinav spa. They have them all over the country, and it you can have public onsens or private onsens. So a public onsen, they don't allow tattoos usually because tattoos were kind of in correlation with the Yakuza, the Japanese gangs, since a lot of the Yakuza people would have tattoos, and they think it's dangerous. So if you have a tattoo and you're going into a public onsen, if it's small, then you can cover it up with a band-aid. But if it's a large one, you go into an onsen in your birthday suit. They don't allow any clothing, so you won't be able to cover it up if you have a large tattoo. But there are also private onsens, and some of the hotels we'll be staying at have private and public onsens. You'll still be able to experience it.
Mm.
Slurping noodles is considered polite. They like they think that when you're loud and you're enjoying your meal, they really enjoy it. And it also actually helps cool down the soup and a little bit more flavor from it. Like drinking wine, maybe, if you're tasting wine. No eating while walking. This is a fun one because there's a lot of street food in Japan. Most of the cities will offer street food, but what you do is you get your street food, like your chicken on a stick or something, and you'll go off to the side and you'll eat it, and then you can walk down and you can go off to the side and you can eat it, but you can't walk and eat at the same time. Same with drinking a coffee, like a to-go cup of coffee. You can't drink and walk at the same time. It's not kosher. Japanese people love to queue, and this is actually, I think, a good thing because particularly if you're going onto a train, you'll have people lining up to get onto the train, and they'll wait for everyone to disembark, and then you can get on, and it's nice and orderly and no chaos, which I really enjoy for traveling. They have vending machines and convenience stores all over the country, and their food is actually pretty good from what I've heard. They have a 7-Eleven, which is very popular there. Apparently, their thing that you have to try is an egg salad sandwich from 7-Eleven. Sounds sounds interesting. We'll give it a go. In vending machines, you can get absolutely everything. Apparently, you can get hot ramen from a vending machine. You can get medical supplies. You can get ice cream, everything. And they're all in very random spots throughout the country as well. Public washrooms are super clean and they usually have bidets and heated seats. So that'll be a nice luxury. And Japan has over 6,800 islands. I'll have a map in the next slide, so I'll show you some of them. And tipping is considered rude. So when you're going out to a restaurant and you don't tip for any of your meals. We will be including gratuities for our local guides and driver because they do a lot for us and they'll be schlepping our bags and everything. But yeah, for meals when you go out, you don't have to tip. Okay, so this is the map of Japan. As you can see, it's a pretty long country. The very top is the northern area. There's a city up there called Sapporo, and that is really well known for skiing and a really popular ski destination now. And way off down to the south is an archipelago, and one of those islands is called Okinawa, which has become really famous recently. It has white sand beaches, tropical water, just not really how I pictured Japan originally, but it sounds really beautiful. I think I'd like to go there. All the red dots that you'll see are the places that I am proposing that we go to. So we start in Tokyo and then go into the Japanese Alps where it says Matsumoto and Takayama and Kanazawa, which is on the coast, and then head back down to Kyoto and then west to a town called Okayama, Hiroshima, and then back to Osaka, flying out of Osaka because that's where they have two major airports from. It's almost like a circle trip. And in total, this will be about 15 days, although give or take, which I have a couple notes for you on as well. So the best time to travel, well, now that we have cherry blossoms in February, I might have to rethink it. But typically, December, January, February, and the beginning of March, winter time, a bit colder. The cities aren't as busy. Towards the end of March and the beginning of April is when we get the cherry blossom season, which is a very popular time to travel there. So it's busy and it's expensive. The next year, Japan's Golden Week, which is their national holiday, is the end of April. And that's a pretty busy time for Japanese people to travel throughout the country. In the summer, it's really hot and humid, and they do have typhoons. Main typhoon season is in September. And then in the fall, so mid-October and November, is their fall foliage, which is fairly similar now in terms of busyness, popularity to the cherry blossoms. People will travel there to go and see the beautiful fall colors. So I'm thinking the optimal time to go is after Japan's Golden Week, which will be around May 12th, as a start of the tour. We could also go through the October, but we might get a little bit of rain from the trickling of the typhoon season. So I think May sounds like a good one. On this trip, that we can stay in a variety of different accommodations. This one in particular is called a ryokan, and it is a very traditional style of accommodation for Japanese people. It has been around since the 8th century, and it's kind of like our B&B, where it came from people traveling across the country and needing a place to stay and a meal. And so people would open up their homes and offer a space for them and serve them either breakfast and or dinner as well. So the ryokans usually have these tatami mats, which is the mats on the floor. They're hand woven, and you would sleep and have your meals on here too. So this is set up, as you can see, for like a living room situation, dining. You'd sit on the floor or low chairs or mats, and then your host would take away the table and bring out futons or mattresses to sleep on at night. So
Mm.
that's a traditional ryokan. And I think that we would probably more likely to stay in more of a Western style where they have permanent beds instead of having to sleep on the floor. A little bit more comfortable. They are still pretty low, but they're higher than sleeping on a futon on the floor. But you still get that experience as well. And I think that's a great way to see and experience their culture. Also staying in more Western style hotels, in particular in the larger cities. Ryokans aren't super common because they're more found out in the countryside or in smaller cities. So in the larger cities, more Western style, you can see here that the rooms are fairly small and they are fairly minimalist style as well. So something to think of when you're traveling. They're kind of the similar size, I would say, to what you'd find in Paris or Italy.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to find a mixture for this itinerary between the must-see destinations, the busy places, and the less busy, less traveled to cities as well. So on the left, this picture here, this is Osaka, and the area is called Dotonbori, which has a canal that runs through the town. And obviously, you can see all the neon lights. Um, Osaka is really well known for their street food, so it's a fun, lively nightlife that they have there. On the right is Tokyo, that's Shibuya Crossing, which I don't really want to go to, but we can if you want. It's like that all the time. People travel all over to go to Shibuya Crossing because you can cross every which direction whenever the little green man comes on. People like to go and experience that. And have a mixture of the less busy destinations. So pictured on the left is Okayama, which is the birthplace of Japanese denim. It looks like a very beautiful city and kind of a more tranquil area to visit. And then on the right, that is Takayama, which is an Edo period city in the Alps. So a little bit a mixture between like the large cities and the smaller cities and towns as well.
Mhm.
So starting in Tokyo, you can fly in from Vancouver. I think most of you are based in Vancouver. There are 3 airlines that have direct flights there. So Air Canada, ANA, or they're also called All Nippon Airways, and Japan Airlines, which is also called JAL, JAL. They have direct flights into Tokyo, and you can also get a flight out of Osaka that connects through Tokyo back to Vancouver if you want to. We'll start off with 3 nights in Tokyo. The first night you usually arrive around 4 p.m., so we'll just do a welcome dinner, kind of get to know each other and the guide, and then the next day we'll be off and running with seeing some of the major sites that Tokyo has to offer. One of them being the Meiji Shrine. So in Japan, they practice both Buddhism and Shintoism. and often in conjunction, not one or the other. Shintoism is more for life and marriage, and Buddhism is more for death and afterlife. So we'll learn a lot about that while we're traveling throughout Japan.
Good idea.
The next job we would see would be the Imperial Palace Plaza. Now, the Imperial Palace is still used by the family, and so we won't actually be able to go past the walls, but we can see from the plaza, there's a moat that actually surrounds the palace, and we'll be able to walk around. They have a nice garden on the outside and learn about the Imperial family. And I don't know if any of you saw in the news recently that, or I guess it's coming up on my news feed because I'm learning a lot about Japan, but the emperor right now is an 18-year-old man,
Huh.
and
Huh.
he is it's they're scared that because right now Japan, their rules are that only male heirs can be emperors. And he has lots of sisters, but if he doesn't have a male son, then the line will end with him. Just kind of interesting, unless they change their rules.
Mm.
One of the highlights of visiting Tokyo is the Team Lab art exhibit. They have one called Borderless and one called Planets. They have one in Osaka as well, and I think in Dubai too. And it's an immersive art experience. If anyone have you been to the Van Gogh experience that was in
Yeah.
Beijing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to that. They have
Mhm.
a lot of different rooms with different art and images projected onto the screen. Really like immersive and a really fun experience, I think. Kind of different, gives yourself a cleanse of the shrines and the temples we would have seen.
Mm.
And then the next day, we start off with going to the Tsujiki Outer Market, which is one of the locals and tourists produce fish market crafts all together. And we can walk around and see what their wares are and what they sell. I read that there was the most expensive bluefin tuna was sold here
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm.
months ago, over $50 million
Oh
Mhm.
my gosh.
for
Oh
one
wow.
tuna.
Wow.
Crazy. And after visiting the market, we'll be able to learn how to make sushi.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and they don't make dynamite rolls. We'll learn their real sushi,
Yeah.
which will be really fun, I think.
Mm.
So that will be in the morning on our second full day. In the afternoon, we'll be visiting this next temple. And this shopping street leads up towards the temple. It's very busy, as you can see, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
you can buy lots of interesting artifacts and crafts and try some different food. Apparently, Japan is really proud of their fruit growing, and they will produce and sell the most beautiful fruit, but it's very expensive. Like I watched a video the other day, and it was $30 US
Wow.
for
Wow.
5 strawberries.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
And they make white strawberries too.
Yeah.
We got to try it. It leads up to the Sensoji Temple, which is a Buddhist temple, and it has been rebuilt several times. And this is, I think, the third time that they've rebuilt it, and with this beautiful pagoda and in red colors. I don't think it was red the last time that they had one. So that'll be our full 2 days, 3 nights in Tokyo. And cleansing us of the big city, we'll be heading to Matsumoto. So Matsumoto is the it's in the Japanese Alps, and it's a small city. I wouldn't call it a town, a very small city, and very well known for its Edo period style buildings, like you can see here. Because it's in the Alps, they have a lot of access to wood, and
Mhm.
a lot of their crafts have to do with wood carvings, and a lot of their buildings are made out of wood. They have a wasabi farm here, which
Hmm.
is very famous for because wasabi is really hard to grow, which I didn't know. It needs to have the most pure water and the correct temperatures all year round.
Hmm.
So we can visit this wasabi farm all along the river and try some interesting snacks. They have wasabi ice cream. Um, and also, fun fact, did you know that most of the wasabi that we have in our sushi restaurants here is actually horseradish mixed with
Oh,
guy. You're not actually having real wasabi because it's expensive and it's hard to come by.
huh.
You have to
Mm.
go to the fancy restaurants. In Matsumoto also is this beautiful Matsumoto Castle. It's also called the Crow Castle because it has the black lacquer painting on the outside.
Mm.
And Matsumoto is where Yayoi Kusuma is from. She is the
Mm.
artist that does all the dots. Like you can see here, the pumpkin.
Oh, oh,
And her
oh.
pumpkins are in public areas all over Japan. But she is from here, so they have a lot of her art here in the museum and a lot of other artists that are from Matsumoto live
Mm.
too. This wasn't in my original itinerary, but I think it's a kind of a fun thing to add.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we'll just be in Matsumoto for one night, and then we'll head to Takayama for 2 nights. It's only about an hour and a half to get in between the two cities, so it's not too far. And Takayama again is an Edo period city town similar to Matsumoto. It's a lot slightly larger than Matsumoto. We'll be able to visit a miso factory, learn how miso paste is made, and be able to try some treats. I've made a miso brownie before, which I thought was really good. It was like creamy and salty,
Mm.
and it was a totally different flavor. I loved it. You can also learn how to make kumimo, which is a
Oh.
braid. What they've used to use it for
Mm.
decoration for samurai swords and armor. So we can have a braiding experience here in Takayama.
Beautiful.
And the following morning, visit their morning market. This is one of the largest morning markets in the Nagano prefecture area. A prefecture is like their province, their version of provinces. And you'll see a lot of wood crafts here, a lot of craftspeople in general, and of course, their all the food that they grow and sell. One of the streets in particular is their craft street, Senomochi, where we'll be able to do a sake tasting as well.
Mm.
The next day, so in between Takayama and the next town, Kanazawa, which is on the coast, the northern coast, is a place called Shirakaguro. Not, no, that's not how you say it. Shirakagago. I'll get
Oh.
it, I'll get it eventually. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site and it's positioned in a valley. It's all these beautiful farm buildings and they're called Gasho Zukuri, which means hands in prayer. In
Mm.
the winter, this is very popular to come and visit because everything is covered in snow and it has this magical feel. We'll be able to walk around here and visit one of the inside of the farmhouses
Yeah.
called the farm. They traditionally live.
Beautiful.
Yeah, in this
Mm.
lovely. So from Takayama, we stop off in that valley, and then we're going to Kanazawa all on the same day. It's a probably in total 2 hours distance, 2.5. And Kanazawa, I originally had this for one night, but I love your opinion if you'd like to stay for two. It is very famous for their gold leaf. Um, they produce the most gold leaf in all of Japan.
Oh,
And it's we'd be able to do a gold leaf experience, craft experience. They would give us these kind of black lacquer little bowls, and then we'd be able to apply gold leaf onto them.
mm.
You kind of
Mm.
it has one of the most beautiful gardens in Japan, and it's one of the top
Beautiful.
three Hinroken Garden. Kanazawa was also one of the only cities in Japan that was not affected by the World War II. So it has one of the most preserved Edo period buildings that are the original buildings.
Mm.
It has a very deep samurai history here as well
Mm.
because it wasn't as affected from the bombings. A lot of the samurai homes are still intact, and we can go into some of them and visit them and see the armor and how they lived and slept. This was not, again, on my original itinerary, but if we do stay for 2 nights, this could be an interesting added.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
From Kanazawa, so that's again on the north coast there, we head down to Kyoto, and that will be on the Shinkansen, the bullet train, where it goes up
Oh,
to
wow.
500 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
Apparently, you can't tell. We'll see. And
Oh,
Kyoto has is known for their shrines and temples. They have over 2,000 in their
oh
one city.
gosh.
One of the things I was told we have to do is go to the Hiroshima bamboo forest. I'm not convinced, and I'll tell you why. I love your opinion. That crowd to go see a forest doesn't sound
Okay.
nice
No,
at
no,
all.
no.
It's popular because the bamboo is really, really tall.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
supposed to be very serene, but I think only if you go very early in the morning. Otherwise,
yeah.
it's going to be like this no matter what time of year you go. So I have alternatives. One of them being the Fushimi Inari Shrine area, which we will be going to, and I'll talk about in a second. They have a secret pathway where you can climb up onto a different sort of section of the path and see bamboo grows up there. Or we can visit this other temple, which has a small bamboo grove, but also has a rock garden and kind of Zen area too. And the Fushimi Inari Shrine is probably the most popular thing to do in Kyoto. This is the map here. So the shrine is at the bottom, and then it has these torii gates, red torii gates, that wind all the way up the hill with Inari Mountain, and you can climb all the way through. So at the very bottom, where there's that little cluster you can see of the Torii gates, that's where most people stop and they take their pictures. So it can be quite crowded. But if you walk up the path, there's less people because they don't want to walk up the hill. And then you'd also be able to experience the bamboo grove up there too. We
Good.
did see in a couple photos back, you can see it's quite hilly. It's steep stairs. You don't have to do it. You can just stay at the shrine at the bottom or walk around the torii gates. All of these torii gates, by the way, were donated by people or businesses. There's over 200 of them, and they're all painted in that red vermilion
Hmm,
color.
hmm,
And on the sides there, that is the people's names or the companies, businesses, their names
hmm.
painted on the torii gate. So I think although busy, it will be a beautiful spot. In Kyoto, this is in the old town. They have these two streets, Ninenzaka and Sanenzaka, and on the right you'll see there's no people. That was probably taken at like 5 in the morning in the summer or something. It's usually more busy than that. This is where a lot of the crafts people have their shops and restaurants all along here, kind of like Edo buildings. We'll be able to visit their Nishiki market as well, which again, we'll be able to try some of their local food. And in the evening, have a Maiko dinner and entertainment. Maiko or Mako are geisha in training, and they will be able to provide some dance and music, answer questions that we might have, and take photos of, and we'll have dinner with them as well. And a very special experience, I think. We'll be sitting on on the tatami mat again, on low cushions, and served sort of a traditional Japanese meal here in the bento boxes. This usually takes about 2 hours, I've heard, from start to finish. So you will have to be able to be comfortable sitting on the ground for that period of time because they don't normally provide chairs for people that need it. Kyoto is very popular for crafts. There's lots of different crafts that we can partake in as well. One of them being the kintsugi, which is the art of like gluing with gold. So you'll have like a broken ceramic bowl, for instance, and then they will use gold to mend it back together, and then you'll have this beautiful gold line. We can learn calligraphy. You can learn how to make a shibori scarf, which is kind of like their tie-dye.
Hmm.
and also the Kurmaki shibori, which is on the left. This is indigo, using their indigo dye, and then the roketsu on the right. This is you might have seen this if you've been to a Japanese restaurant. They usually have these going into the washrooms or maybe into their kitchen. They'll have like curtains at the very top,
Mhm.
and you walk through the curtain. So a lot of them are this roketsu, and it is you can paint in wax a design, and they'll dye it in indigo and then dry it, and the wax kind of falls off and it leaves this beautiful white design, and then the indigo everywhere else. I thought that would be kind of a beautiful
Beautiful. Yeah.
experience and something to take home with you. You can make t-shirts too and bags. From Kyoto, we have a chance to go to Nara on a day trip. This is about 30 minutes only from Kyoto on the train. And Nara is very famous for their super friendly deer, as pictured here. You can feed the deer and they will bow to you.
Oh,
Very cute. But they have a Buddhist temple here and a beautiful park as well. There are over 2,000 deer in this one area. So one idea that I had was some people perhaps might not like this experience because of the deer and everyone feeding it and taking pictures of them and stuff. So we could have this as a free day if you felt comfortable having a day on your own. And some people might choose to go to Nara. Some people might want to go to an onsen or just have a nice relaxing day around Kyoto. So that will be one of my questions for you in my email later as well.
good,
Something
good.
to think about. From Kyoto, so that'll be our 3 days. We'll head to Okayama, which is, you can see my circle here in the middle. And Okayama is the birthplace of Japanese denim. They grew
Ah,
a lot of cotton here.
ah,
Originally, they were trying to grow rice and they switched over to cotton. There's a company called Bethel Smith, which I hadn't heard of, but a very famous Japanese denim company. And you can go and embellish and embroider your own denim products. So you can get like a hat and a bag or jeans or something, and you can add embellishments to them. So it's
hmm,
kind of fun. There's a whole district
fun.
dedicated to the denim.
Hmm.
So that will be on our way from between Kyoto and Hiroshima. So we get to Hiroshima and we will go immediately to Miyajima Island. We'll take a ferry over there. It's about a 25-minute ferry and visit this shrine. This is the floating shrine, and in the background there you can see the floating torii gate. This is when the tide is up, but when the tide is low, you can actually walk out to that torii gate as well.
Oh, wow.
And they have this very beautiful, peaceful garden also
Mm,
in Miyajima.
Hmm.
We'll head back to Hiroshima, and the following day, we will have a visit to the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park Museum and the atomic bomb dome. Pictured here, you probably already all know this, but this is the only building that was left in Hiroshima
mm,
after the atomic bomb was dropped. And
wow.
that's because the bomb was dropped right above the dome. And so the
Wow.
blast went all the way out and didn't come
Uh,
down. That's the only
uh,
building left in the whole city from original. But of course, now it's a booming city and it's been completely rebuilt.
Mhm.
mm,
So that will be the second day from Hiroshima, and we'll head from there to back to Osaka. And we'll be in Osaka for 2 nights. Osaka is very well known for their food scene, and they make oh, and the Osaka Castle, of course. They make okonomiyaki, which actually is from Hiroshima, but they do make that a lot in Osaka. And this became popular after the Second World War because it's a Japanese pancake is what it is, and it's made with Napa cabbage and shredded vegetables and anything that they had lying around. And so they would be able to feed their family on very little food. And so
okay.
they've kind of brought this to Osaka and made it more of like a foodie thing where they've added different proteins and sauces. And we could learn how to make this if you wanted to. And of course, having the visit to the castle, sorry, as well.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So that would end our time in Japan. So overall, if we added that extra day in Kanazawa, that's 16 days. Otherwise, it would be 15. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, and perhaps we can talk about it at a different time, or you can send me an email or give me a call because we have 40 people on this Zoom call,
Oh,
so
wow.
I'll be able to see everyone and answer all your questions. But okay, so that's the itinerary. So what's going to be included is 4-star accommodation, which will be a mixture of that Western style ryokan, so the normal style beds, not the futon on the floor, and more Western style hotels. We'll have breakfast daily and at least one other meal a day, either lunch or dinner or both. We'll include an airport transfer for the majority who are arriving or departing at the same time from the same airport. Transportation will be on private buses throughout and or the train, the Shinkansen bullet train. When we're on the train, your luggage will be forwarded to the next destination. So you won't have to take your luggage on the train with you, which will be very, very helpful because there's not a lot of space to stack your bags and you have to take it up and down the stairs. So we'll take care of that for you. All of the entrance fees and cooking or craft experiences will be included. One thing that I'm working on right now is having one English speaking guide throughout the whole time, which is what we've typically done for Women with Wings. You get to know that person very well, and there's that cohesiveness to it, having one person. But it does add on an extra cost because we're paying for that person's meals throughout for all the day and their accommodation as well. So the other option is to have a separate guide in each of the cities that we're visiting. And then we'll have an escort that will take us onto the train or the bus, drop us at the next spot, and then we'll have that guide in the next spot. So it'll keep the cost down, but you won't have that kind of cohesiveness and you don't really get to know the person as well as having them throughout. Something for you to think of. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that too. Also included will be the gratuities again for the guides and the drivers and some surprises. We can't tell you everything, but that'll be the general gist of it. So not included will be your flights, any additional time you want to spend before or after. I'd probably be going into Tokyo at least one day, probably a few days before. And I'm kind of thinking of maybe going down to one of those tropical islands. That sounds fun. Nagasaki, I've heard, is really nice as well. There's lots of different things you can see in Japan that aren't a part of that itinerary that I just mentioned. The Canadians do not need visas to go to Japan.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah.
Departure tax, no, taxes are a new thing that they've introduced a few years ago, but they've changed it actually again this year. They're changing it in the spring. A lot of the items that you purchase are tax-free. Where now I think in the spring, what you have to do is you go to the airport and you would declare when you're leaving, declare the items and how much tax you would get refunded back to you. And staff at the airport will then give you your money back. Right now at the store, if you were to buy, say, a pair of jeans, they would discount it, like they would take the tax off of it. And that's taxes only for Japanese people, not for foreigners. So that's why we'll get a refund. Obviously not included is your trip cancellation and medical insurance,
Uh-huh.
personal items. Beverages for the meals included, they will serve tap water, which is very drinkable and lovely. And they usually serve tea as well. The water is nice because we've been used to having to pay for bottled water when we go to Europe. And they tell you it's free and then they charge you at the end. They're sneaky. But we won't have to worry about that in Japan. Transportation, I already talked about this, the bus and the Shinkansen and the luggage forwarding. Tour price. So based on 15 days, 14 nights, the price will be approximately just over $10,000 per person. The single supplement's quite high, just over 2,300 per person. Again, we're still working on this. This isn't set in stone. Hopefully I can get that price down a little bit, but we'll see. Flights I mentioned were the direct flights into Narita or Haneda Airport. Haneda is the one in Tokyo that is centrally located. It's right in the city. And Narita is about a 45 minutes or so transfer outside of the city. Prices range between 2 and 8,000 depending on your class of service. And Al Nippon is also a part of Star Alliance, which is Air Canada Aeroplan. So you may be able to use points if you're traveling with Air Canada or Al Nippon. Okay, is this the right trip for you? So really want to make sure that like this is your holiday. You want you to have a good time. But I would like you to know that there are a lot of differences traveling to Japan than there are to a lot of the other places that we've been to. I'm not going to say these things to scare you off, but it's just the reality of traveling there. So there's a lot of walking involved in this itinerary. It's not an active tour per se, but walking throughout the shrines and the temples, going to the markets, walking throughout the historical areas, being able to be sitting on low floor or on the floors and low mats, particularly for that Maiko geisha dinner. But some other restaurants may have that as well. For food allergies and intolerances, this is interesting. I've learned a lot about this recently. Japanese people don't make exceptions to their meals, really. They don't make subsidies like we're used to here in Canada. We can pretty much order anything and get anything subsidized, right? But they don't really offer that there. What they serve is what they serve. So for instance, if you're going to get a ramen noodle soup and you're vegetarian, they will serve it to you without meat, but the broth will be fish or meat
Uh-huh.
based.
Uh-huh.
And they don't think of that as being not vegetarian because that's their broth. Um, if you're gluten free, a lot of the soups and the sauces and stuff will have soy sauce in them, which has gluten in it. And obviously the noodles, they don't really serve a lot of rice noodles in Japan. They serve mainly wheat-based noodles. If you have a very severe allergy, like if you have a severe nut allergy, it'll be difficult. A
Mhm.
lot of the things have hidden ingredients in them, a lot of the dashis and the soup bases. So just something to be aware of. The hotel rooms in general are fairly small and the crowds are large. Wherever we go, we will see crowds. There's no really getting away from it
Mm.
unless you go up into the mountains far, far away and stay with a homestead. But I mean, that could be a good experience. For the number of nights that we're staying, we have 2 3-night stays, 2 2-night stays, and 4 1 nights. And one of those 1 nights is Kanazawa, so maybe that will be 2, depending on what you think. But the only time when we're going to be staying in 2 1 nights in a row is going to be Okayama and then Hiroshima. Everything else will be split up. Uh, Most of the signs are going to be in Japanese. At the airport and the train stations, they usually have English as well, but a lot of the signage and like food packaging, for instance, if you're going into the 7-Eleven, it'll be all in Japanese. But we'll have a guide with us too. And if you have Google Translate on your phone, they have this thing where you can take a photo of, a menu, for instance, or packaging, and it will translate it automatically into English. It sometimes doesn't work very well, but you get the gist of what's in it. They also have a lot of very small restaurants. Eating together as a group may be difficult. A lot of the restaurants, particularly in the larger cities like Tokyo, will have only 6 or 7 places to sit. So we may have to split into smaller groups, but we'll always have, a guide or myself as well and be able to navigate that. And I touched base on the tattoos as well.
Mhm.
So some questions that I have for you would be, would you like more or less free time to explore on your own? Right now, this itinerary doesn't really have a lot of free time, particularly in the larger cities. Um, Going in conjunction with that would be, are you comfortable taking public transit? So if you had free time, are you okay with taking, the train to go and see a site on your own or with a couple other people? What I would think I would do would be myself and or the local guide would show you how to use the public transit, how to purchase a ticket, and then you'd be able to do that in your spare day. Would you like more or less meals included in the itinerary? So again, right now, breakfast daily and the lunch or dinner would be included. Sometimes I think it can be a bit daunting going to a large new city. And so if you feel more comfortable having, more meals included in those cities, that's totally fine. And I would just love to get to know that from you. And do you think that this is a good mixture between seeing, the busy cities, Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, and then the smaller and more curated experiences, I guess, particularly up in the Northern Alps area? And what I would love to know is what's the most important thing to you when you think of Japan, when you want to go there? What do you want to experience? I'd love to hear that. Um, that's all I have to say, I think. I'm going to get out of here so I can actually see your faces. I hope you all learned something.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah.
It's a lot
Hannah,
of
can you?
information. I'm
can
sorry. I
you
think
hear
I
me?
talked really
Oh.
fast.
Oh,
I have no questions in the chat. Why don't we open it up? If anyone has a question, do you want to ask one or a comment?
Hannah, can you hear me?
Mhm.
Oh, it's
And
Sue
I did
Engelbert. I
that.
was a little late getting started, but it looks wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm excited to be able to launch it. I hopefully will have more information for you next week. But yeah, I just
Yeah.
really wanted to have everyone's kind of thoughts and feedback and want to
Did
curate
you
the
did you
experience.
say that there are 40 people that are interested? How many will be going?
I'll take a maximum of 14 for this trip.
Ah,
Yeah.
and there's 40 that are interested?
Well, 40 that were registered for tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so maybe not everyone will want to go, but we'll see. Maybe I'll have to
Okay.
do 2 tours.
Good, good.
Yeah. Oh, I do have a quick. Oh, yeah. How many people do you plan for this trip? Okay, yeah, 14, maximum 14. I think that having sometimes we go up to 16, and in the past, I think in Morocco we did 18. And I think for traveling throughout Japan, because of their restrictions on in restaurants in particular and the smaller
Yeah.
accommodations, having 16 or 18 will just be too many, and we won't be able to stay in any of the ryokans, which I
I
think is
understand. Yeah.
very important and interesting places to stay. Yeah.
I sent my approval already through to you, so there we
Thanks,
go.
Kathy.
I'm number one.
I want to go.
Someone just says, is there flexibility in the dates? Could you think about the end of May into the first 2 weeks of June? Well, if there's enough people and we can do 2 back-to-back tours, I'll stay over there in Japan and you can come and we can do a second tour at the end of May.
Hard job.
I'll get used to it. I'll be fluent in Japanese. I've
Domo
learned
arigato
3 words. Yeah,
gozaimashita. There you
arigato.
go.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa is hello, and kampai.
Kampai is
Cheers.
cheers.
Yeah, there you go.
Domo arigato gozaimashita is thank you very much.
Oh, there you go.
There you
Kathy's gonna be the
go.
guide.
No, 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 no.
I've learned a convenience store is called a konbini. Konbini. It's the 7-Elevens. Yeah. There's some really good books to read as well, and some interesting podcasts if you want to learn about Japan. I can send you some of the ones that I've been
That's a
listening
good
to.
idea.
Good, good.
Yeah. There's so much history in Japan. It's really overwhelming. It goes back for a very, very long time. Yeah. One of them, yeah, very interesting too about the dynasty and learning about that family, the traditions within that as well. So yeah, I hope we can make this happen and see some of you in Japan. I think it'll be a really great trip. We haven't been to an Asian country in quite a few years. I think the last one was Vietnam in, I want to say 2015 or 2013. So it's been a while. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions?
No.
No?
I have
Okay.
a question.
Oh, yeah.
Nancy Coote speaking, yeah.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi. Um, I have some arthritis in my knees, and so a lot of the times when I'm traveling, I take my sticks.
Mhm.
So, um, but I think my enthusiasm makes up for a lot. So, would there be a problem moving about with sticks
No, I don't think so.
or
No,
no?
no, that should be fine. You mean like for the like space?
Like walking sticks, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think that'll be a problem.
Okay. And the only other thing is, again, because of my wonky knees, I could probably get down on a mat, but I might need help getting up.
Okay,
Do you
that's totally
provide?
fine. Yeah, there'll be lots of people to help
We
you.
can help.
Yeah.
Maybe the onsen will be really nice for you. Have
Okay,
that nice, hot, relaxing
yes.
Mhm.
water.
Okay, put me down for absolutely 100% sure.
Okay, that's
Me
great,
too.
Nancy.
Me
Thank you.
too.
Okay.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
very exciting. Thank you all so much. This is awesome.
Mhm.
It's a lovely combination that you've made. I really wanted to see the old part like Kyoto, and I'm a wannabe sketcher, so I would love the opportunity to sit and sketch
Oh, wow, great.
quite a bit. So all of those sort of out of the way places, rather than downtown Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
very
Avoid that Shibuya crossing, I think.
I have a
Okay.
question and I've unmuted myself.
Hi, Jill.
Are there railings in places where there are steps?
Yeah, in most places there are like in the shrine Ishiminari shrine, like the ones with the torii gates that go up there. Yes,
Yeah.
there are railings that will follow the steps all the way up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Great.
good question. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, I will be sending out this recording in the next couple days, along with those questions that I had listed at the end of the presentation there. And if you feel like you want to answer any of them or provide any feedback, feel free to write that back to me or
Sure.
send me a message or a phone call. I'd love to hear from you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
Hannah.
much.
Thank you very much.
Arigato.
Thank you.
Bye.
Arigato.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice to see
Bye.
you all. Good night. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Night night.